This is the first episode of Anxiety Diaries, a chill voiceover style podcast where I talk about healing from trauma, struggling with anxiety, and trying to function as a single mom with ADHD type behaviors. Today I'm cleaning out my hallway closet, finally, and sharing some real thoughts on self love, growth, and how healing isn't always pretty, but it's mine. If you can relate, you're not alone. Drop a question mark or drop a chat emoji in the chat if you've ever, or not in the chat, in the comments, if you've ever avoided a task for months because anxiety said nah. Subscribe for more unfiltered healing moments. My channel is Why Are Humans Like This? So in this next audio, the beginning got cut off, so you're not going to hear the very beginning of it. So you're going to kind of jump right in. Hopefully you can follow along. Like, that's my issue with a lot of things, like sticking to a regimen. I've struggled with that. I've struggled with that my whole life. And I still struggle with it. But I do try. It's not because I don't want to. It's I get so busy and I forget to prioritize myself. I be so busy being a mom that I forget to prioritize myself. I'm trying not to be so self-absorbed. You know what I'm trying to say? And focus on like my children and focus on us being good. You feel me? But I'm not individualizing it enough to like, hey, okay, you're going to put your time into yourself. You're going to give yourself a 30 minutes or hour. I've been doing Pilates. I'm not doing it daily like I want to. I've been doing it a few times a week. I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying. I really like Pilates though. It's just like having a schedule. I've struggled with that. And I need to have a schedule because I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to do that. I'm trying to keep everything in my head and I can't. I do put things in my calendar and I do set alarms and stuff like that. But it's like I to the point where, and I put things on the fridge calendar, but I'm not details. So I'm thinking of maybe I need to get a dry erase board for myself and not just like in the fridge for everyone. For some things, I need to get like my own small dry erase board just to write some things down. Not even dry erase. It could be a pen. I could write a pen, writes with a pen. Yeah. Leave a comment. Have you struggled with time management? Maybe executive functioning skills, procrastination, anxiety? Have you dealt with some trauma? I always believe from a long time that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm always trying to find out why. Instead of like focusing more on things that's going to help me move forward in my life. I've been dwelled a lot on things in my life that I shouldn't have. But I'm glad I don't dwell anymore. It's just like it's there, you know? And I used to run away from like negative thoughts, like memories. Like, oh my gosh, the memories come in my head. I'm not gonna think about it. You gotta feel it. You gotta think, if it comes in your mind, let it come in and find a positive way to get it out. Don't try to push it away. It's coming up in your mind because it needs to be addressed. It's coming up in your mind because it needs to be addressed. Address it. And if you're not sure how to address the situation, talk to a licensed mental health professional. Find a counselor, find a therapist. Someone who has certain skills that will help you. Okay? We all need support in something in life. And if there's some people who can say that they're independent and everything, they don't need help, they don't need nobody. I'm happy for you. For those of you who are always been self-driven, self-motivated, don't need nobody, just independent. Independent. Do you know what that means? Hopefully I spelled that right. But anyway, if I didn't, you know what I mean. What I was gonna say. Just I've never been that. I've been always stuck on something because of my trauma. My trauma has left me stuck on things that prevent me from moving on, like fear, having that anxiety, that fear of like making a mistake, that fear of something else going wrong. That's how I lived the majority of my life. And healing has been the best thing for me, but it's been so painful. It's been a painful journey. I'm at the best place in my life mentally. I have my ups and downs. I have my days, but overall, I'm the best mentally that I've ever been, and I'm really proud of myself. Real talk. Things could definitely be better. You feel me? Definitely could be better, but I'm happy where they are. I love my children. I feel like they love me. I do my best, you know. I do need to reach out more for, I'm always trying to find more support for them and myself. I want to make sure that they're good, because being a single mom and being someone who just basically relies on yourself, you need support. We're not superhuman. Like, we all need help. And just because Sally and Susie say, "Oh, I've been born with that knowledge. I've always known that. My grandmama always told me." Da, 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 da. How you don't know that? You know, people try to kind of shame you and stigmatize you. You know, there are some decisions you made in life out of survival. You know, there are some decisions we made in life out of survival, and they may not have been the best decision. But don't let nobody hold you in your past when you're trying to move forward. Like, okay, that person you knew 10 years ago, that's not me anymore. That person you knew 20, people like to hold you. Oh, I remember you used to do that. Oh, you'll never change. If someone doesn't feel like you're going to change, then that's their belief. If you know you are changing, you know you're doing better, you know you want good for yourself, that's all that matters. If you know the growth within you, you're proud of that, that's all that matters. Like, we can't look for outside validation, because there's some people who really aren't, like, self-aware. They don't even really love themselves. You know, they're just focused on the outer, so that you can't accept somebody's opinion who don't care you, don't value, don't care about you enough to come to you respectfully and in a loving way and really want to work things out. You know, people have always tried to call me, "Oh, you're so sensitive, you're so sensitive." I love me. Like, I hate that people try to beat out who I was. Like, okay, I'm a sensitive person, you know, but I admit that I was a sensitive person because of the things that happened to me. It made me on guard. It made me not trust people. You couldn't really, like, to get like a criticism, I hated it. My glasses are reflecting and I don't like it. I used to hate getting like a criticism, like when somebody criticized me, like, "Oh, it would hurt my feelings. Like, really and truly hurt my feelings. I was just always sensitive. What am I looking for? My water. I was always sensitive. And people used to make me feel like it's a bad thing, instead of understanding why I'm sensitive. It was seen as like a weakness, you know? I forgive those people who call me sensitive. I do. I forgive them. And I have struggled with forgiveness. I have. Yo, my neck is bothering me. I need to stretch it out. I'm trying to relax and chill, but basically my neck is trying to tell me, "Girl, you can't relax and chill right now." Anyway, this video, I hope I got my point across. I hope you get what I'm saying. I will do a continuation. I'm always going to, once in a while, come and just share my point of view and my experience with something, how I'm working through it. I don't want to come on here to be negative. I don't. And sometimes people think that to me, in my opinion, there are people who are insensitive to think that you talking about a negative experience is you being negative. It's healing and it's freeing. Some people might say, "Go get a diary." Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing things on social media. I don't. I do think there's some things you shouldn't share when it comes to your identity and extra private things. And anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, I don't think you should share. If it truly inside of you shakes and you couldn't live with people knowing that information or whatever, Probably shouldn't share it. You have to truly be okay with people, what they say about you. Some people are not going to think you're attractive. Some people are not going to think you're smart. Some people are going to think your voice is annoying. Someone's going to think, you know, focus on the things that they don't like about you. You know, some people are, for example, they're very neat with everything, whether it's how they look, their hair, their clothes, whatever. And when they see you not looking as neat or put together as they are, or you're not meeting their standards, they criticize you, they judge you. But you can't care what people think about you. You can't. Other than like you're trying to get a job and you need to have a performance review, or they need to accept you for the interview. But at the end of the day, you still got to love yourself and be true to yourself. Even if you're trying to keep it real. Yeah. Unconditional self-love is really important, y'all. You have to love yourself through every phase of your life. You got to love yourself when you're fat. You got to love yourself when you're skinny. You got to love yourself when you're tall, when you're short, when your breath ain't smelling right, when you need a shower, when you need to exercise, when you're having a hard day, when your children are, having a rough day and you're trying your best to deal with it.